very important day to me. Two events happened that day that are near and dear to my heart. In 1918, it was the day that my grandfather was born. And in 2004, it was the day that my dad passed away. My dad was drafted out of high school, where he served 2 years in the U.S. Army. And he served time over in Vietnam. He had 2 kids, my sister and myself, and he worked for 35 years as a letter carrier at the U.S. Postal Service. To say that my dad and I had a bad relationship would be somewhat of an understatement. There were years in my life where we didn't speak at all. I said years. You see, my dad was an alcoholic, and I was so angry and upset for how he treated my family and himself. In May of 2004, he was diagnosed with cirrhosis. His liver was pickled and it was shot. He called us all together for a family meeting, and I was fairly resistant because my anger was still fairly present. You see, sometimes I'm stubborn, like my father. And with the persuasion of my family, I did go, and I'm glad I did. It was a side of my dad that I had never seen before. He asked for our forgiveness for what he'd done. And he took accountability, which he'd never done in the past 20 years. He made statements that everything he did it to himself, and it was nobody's fault but his own. And then he asked us all a favor after that. He wanted to ask my sister, myself, and my mother if we'd help him in his final days, to make sure that everything he wanted to get done got done. I might be stubborn, but I'm not cold, I'm not heartless. It took me about a second to say yes, as did my sister and my mother. Over the next 2 months, we healed old wounds, reminisced about the good old days, found out things from my father that I never even thought was even possible. It seemed back in the 60s, him and his cousin used to run moonshine. We heard stories of Vietnam, some of the hell that he went through. My dad was about 5'4", weighed about 120 pounds. Nothing like myself. But that also meant that he was a tunnel rat. I don't know the hell that he went through. I don't think I want to know the hell that he went through. But it wasn't easy. We heard stories of one Christmas, my parents got us 2 13-inch TVs. And it's when we still believed in Santa Claus. So my Christmas Eve day, it snowed about 12 inches. And the TVs were at my grandfather's house. And we couldn't get the cars out. My grandfather's house was a quarter-mile away from ours. My dad made 2 trips in the middle of the night, tromping through the snow to get the TVs up to our house for my sister and I. And we didn't know this until at that time. We helped him get his affairs in order, and we helped him back and forth with the doctor's appointments and everything else. Helped get his funeral planned. And on June 13th at 8 a.m., with his family by his side, Dad passed away. Over the following days, we were preparing for family to come in town for the funeral. And we started getting poster boards out to put pictures on for all the memories and tribute for Dad in his life. And I was so amazed. You see, pictures show all the good times of things. They show everything that's good, everything that I'd forgotten. See, I was so pissed off. I was so angry that I chose to forget everything good. I wanted to lock it up. I wanted to put a key on it and never see it again. I just wanted to focus on the bad stuff because I was so angry. It seems that Dad was teaching me a lesson even after his death. I know today I don't hold grudges as long as I did for that simple reason. day the funeral came, and probably the hardest part of that was as they were playing taps and they were holding the flag up. And they presented the flag to myself along with the 3 volleys. And I knew I had to pay tribute to Dad somehow. And the best way that I could do that was what you see behind you here. For tribute to my dad, for the service to his family and to his country. It's all the medals and all the patches that he had for when he was in the Army, and it was a flag that was over his casket. With a quote that is so true, that freedom is not free. And it's in memory of Barton L. Brewer. He's gone but not forgotten. Thank you for letting me share this story.